All right. 30 minutes behind. Okay. YouTube Live. No. Number 39 for a YouTube Live yoga routine. And I need to fix the door. The door is still in the way. I forgot all about it from yesterday. So today, we're going to continue to do the 2 sun salutations slowly. And I will add variations in them. So what I will do is the high lunge, which we usually do the low lunge. That's just from integral yoga, basically. Low lunge is usually integral yoga, and that's what I learned in the beginning. But then we're going to add the high lunge to it, the pigeon, the plank, and a child pose. We'll do 2 sun salutations with those variations. It'll take about 24 minutes or so, and we'll end in the mountain pose. So we'll begin with the mountain pose, 2 sun salutations with variations, and then end with the mountain pose, focusing on the breathing. So during these poses, just make sure you're focused on the breathing, letting the mind and body become one, which is yoga. So you settle in the pose, try to be where you think you should be, if that's what you want to do. But then settle in it, take 2-3 seconds, then settle in it, accept where you are, let go of the mindset of trying to be somewhere, let go of the mindset of controlling, let go of the mindset of trying to do the so-called perfect yoga pose, and just accept where you are. Essentially, that allows you to learn acceptance on the mat, non-judgment, and just focus on the breathing to let the mind and body become one. And that's yoga. So no matter how the pose looks, as long as the mind and body is one, you're doing yoga. Oh, I had to wear my glasses today. Okay. I gotta get my phone. Sorry. So professional. So, feet are shoulder width apart. Toes go up. Spread the toes as wide as you can. Then each toe touches one at a time. Knees are slightly bent. Hips are tilted. Arms are relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed. No tension in the shoulders, arms, neck. And then think of yourself as being tall. So lengthen up. And then find a spot where the skeleton is just standing. Everyone's going to be different, so position yourself where the skeleton is just standing. And just focus on the breathing. Now, with focusing on the breathing, that's the link that allows the mind and body to become one. That's what you're focused on, which makes you aware of the stretched areas, aware of what the body's doing, aware of what's going on around you. But you're not focused on those things. You're aware of them, but you're aware of them because you're focused on the breathing. Now bring the palms together. Thumbs go to the heart center. My hands will disappear when I go up out of the camera, but all I'm doing is the prayer. That's all you do. Now, if you want to do this, you do that. I also go out a little bit. That just matches my body, so I listen to my body with that. Thumbs are to the heart center. Awareness. The focus is on the breathing. Push the arms out, up and back. Inhale slowly. It's the first stretch, so just listen to the body. You're not trying to be somewhere. Just listen to the body. Go where the body lets you. Then hinge forward from the lower back, and you're just going to fall into the ragdoll. Now, with the ragdoll, the head is dangling. The arms are dangling. No tension anywhere in the arms and the shoulders. Now, you may feel tightness in the lower back and the hamstrings and the calves. You may feel tension in the shoulders and neck. But just be aware of those areas. Don't focus on them. Focus on the breathing. Now take the palms, place them to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. You're going to arch the back, raise the head, inhale slowly. And then you're going to exhale. As you exhale, you pull yourself in and down, push all the air out. And again, arch the back, raise the head, inhale slowly. Exhale, pull yourself in and down, push all the air out. And then we're going to do one more. Arch the back, raise the head, inhale. Exhale, pull yourself in and down, push all the air out. The palms to the sides of the feet. Left leg is back into a low lunge. With the low lunge, the back foot, top of the foot to the floor, knees to the floor, hips are square and they're pushing forward diagonally. Back is straight or maybe arch slightly. And make sure the front knee is not over the front toe. If it is, you need to lengthen up a little bit. And settle on the pose, accept where you are, and focus on the breathing. Now with the back foot, think of the toes, curl them under, knee goes up into a high lunge. Straighten the leg as much as you can, the back leg. Settle in it, accept where you are, and focus on the breathing. Like a big bird is outside. So we're going to go to the pigeon like a pterodactyl, the wings, right? So right foot goes over to the left side, and it's a foot down from the left hand. So you square up the hips, pushing forward diagonally. The back is maybe arched or straight, and then you're going to fall on top of the leg, sinking into the pose. And in this pose, you're not pushing yourself down. You just accept where you go and just focus on the breathing. You bring yourself up, arms go straight. Back is arched maybe, just slightly. You're pushing in this one just a little bit, right to the threshold, right to the point where you think if you went any more, it would be too much. Just find that spot, accept where you are. You may be leaning a little bit because you have an injury. That's fine. That's where you are. That's what's perfect for you. You accept it, focus on the breathing, let the mind and body become one. Now we're going to go to the high lunge. So the right foot's going to go up to between the hands. So with the back foot, curl the toes under. Just get there how you have to. However that is, it's fine. We're not going to stay in the high lunge. You're just going to settle here. Then downward dog, pushing into it. So the arms are straight. Legs are straight. Heels are towards the floor. Tailbones to the ceiling. No tension in the neck. Think of the lower back because we're about to do a plank. And with the plank, it puts pressure on the lower back, or it tightens the lower back a little bit. I gotta find my stopwatch. Now, we're going to do a 30-second plank. Modify it how you have to. So if you need to go down to the knees, that's what you do. You need to go back a little bit, that's what you do. Whatever you're doing, make sure that belly button, I was going to say the abs, but the belly button goes into the spine. So it's engaged, the abs are engaged. You're not sucking the belly button in or the belly in. Just bring the belly button into the spine. Now go down to the knees, flatten the feet, space out the knees. Extended child pose, sitting back on the heels. And now really think of the lower back. And just fall into the pose. Now, back to hands and knees, curl the toes under, knees go hip width apart, push yourself in the downward dog. We're not going to stay in the downward dog, we're just using it as a transition. So now you slide into the upper dog, drop down to the knees and the chest, you slide up. Technically, the tops of the feet are to the floor. Of course, the palms are to the floor. I need to fix my shirt. And if you need to modify the upper dog, you go down to the small cobra. With the small cobra, the chest is off the floor. No pressure on the hands. You're using your back muscles, which are pull muscles. So you're pulling yourself up, not pushing yourself up. Or just stay in the upper dog. Modify it how you have to. Settle into it. Accept where you are. Focus on the breathing. If it's too much on your lower back, bring yourself out of it a little bit. Listen to your body. You're learning acceptance, non-judgment, not trying to be somewhere, just being in the present moment. Now back to downward dog. Think of the lower back, pushing into it. Arms are straight, legs are straight, heels towards the floor, tailbones to the ceiling. No tension in the neck, so the head is dangling. Now you bring the left foot up between the hands for the low lunge. So think of the back foot, flatten the foot, so the top of the foot is to the floor, knees to the floor. Think of the hips. They're pushing forward diagonally, back is straight, maybe arch. And if the front knee is over the toe, lengthen up some, if that's what you feel like you should do. But you should try to make sure the knee is not over the front toe or over the front toe too much. And settle in the pose. Accept where you are and focus on the breathing. Now think of the back foot, curl the toes under, knee goes up into a high lunge. Straighten the back leg, settle in it, accept where you are, focus on the breathing. See, I'm not even down to my hands yet. I guess I could, but I feel a little bit more comfortable right now going to the fingertips. I'm a little tight from working out yesterday, so I could go there, but that's a little past my threshold for now. And that's the same thing you do. You find out where you are, Get comfortable, accept where you are, it's okay. Now for the pigeon, left foot goes over to the right side as a foot down from the right hand, lengthen up some. The back foot, the foot goes flat to the top of the floor. Think of hip bones, square them up, and fall on top of the leg. Again, you're not pushing down in this pose. You're accepting where you are, and you're focused on the breathing. Bring yourself up, arms go straight. Still with the hip bones, you're pushing them forward diagonally, just a little bit. Head's dropping back. You're finding that spot right before you think, hey, that's a little too far. Don't go there. A little bit before that. And just focus on the breathing. Again, maybe you're leaning, maybe you're going a little bit to the side because of injury, that's fine. Just focus on the breathing. Be aware of the injury, but you're not focused on the injury. You're accepting where you are. And you do that by focusing on the breathing. Now we're going to go into the high lunge. So you can bring the left foot up between the hands. Get there how you have to. So with the back foot, with the back leg, the leg is straight. So in the pose, accept where you are. We're not going to stay here, but you're going to settle here. Now you're going to move into the standing forward bend. Now you're pulling yourself down and in. And in this pose, you're still letting yourself breathe. So when you inhale, the belly swells with air. So it pushes you out of the pose just slightly. Very subtle movement. Just be aware of it. And then when you exhale, you go into the pose. Focusing on the breathing, aware of that subtle movement. Palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale, exhale, turn the palms out, push the air down and out. And one more sun salutation, inhale with the variations, exhale, hinge forward, standing forward bend, pull yourself in and down, let yourself breathe, but focus on the breathing. So the palms to the sides of the feet. Left leg is back into a low lunge. So with the low lunge, top the foot to the floor, knees to the floor, square up the hips, pushing them forward diagonally. Back is arched maybe just a little bit or straight. Find out where you are, accept where you are, and just focus on the breathing. So for me, I'm further down just a little bit. Just loosening up a little bit. I'm aware of that, but I'm not focused on that. Flexibility, coordination, balance, all that comes in time. Not focused on that in yoga. You're focused on the breathing. Now, we're going to do the high lunge. So think of the back foot, curl the toes under, knee goes up. Get the leg as straight as you can, the back leg as straight as you can. Settle in the pose, accept where you are, and focus on the breathing. We're going to do the pigeon. So the right foot goes over to the left side. Get there how you have to. Is a foot down from the left hand. Square up the hips, ball on top of the leg. Again, this pose, you're not pushing down, you're accepting where you are with the body. Just ball into the pose and focus on the breathing. Bring yourself up, straighten the arms, you're pushing a little bit. So you're kind of doing a scoop. So the hip bones are square, but you're scooping and pushing forward. Dropping the head back. Just focus on the breathing. Now we're going to go to the high lunge. We won't stay in the high lunge, but we're going to settle in it. So think of the back foot, curl the toes under, right leg goes up, get it there how you have to. So the back leg is straight, settle into this pose. Then move into the downward dog, pushing into it. Arms are straight, legs are straight. Tailbones going to the ceiling, heels towards the floor. And you're pushing into it just a little bit more than you were before, if that's what you feel like you should do. But most likely you should be. And you just focus on the breathing. Now you're going to go to hands and knees, flatten the feet, space out the knees, extend the child pose. We're going to do a plank. So sit back on the heels. Make sure the knees are spaced out so your belly can breathe, or your belly can go up and down when you breathe. You just sink into the pose. Think of the lower back. Now use your fingertips. Walk yourself out just a little bit with your fingertips only. Keep the butt down, but walk yourself out. Now bring yourself back up, back to hands and knees. Curl the toes under, knees are hip width apart. Fingers wide as you can get them, and then we're just going to go in the downward dog. We're not going to stay in the downward dog. We're just using it as a transition, pushing into it, then go into the plank. Modify the plank how you have to. If you need to go to the knees, that's what you do. We're going to stay in the plank this time for a minute. If it's too much, just go back to the knees, or modify it, or go down and go back up. Now, with this, you want to make sure the belly button is going into the spine, so the abs are engaged. Again, you're not sucking the abs in, you're engaging the abs. Even if the abs are tight, you still can breathe and just focus on the breathing. Again, if it's too much, don't do it. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Listen to the body. Could be a lot on the lower back, so you want to be careful. We're going to have 5 more seconds. We'll drop down to the knees, flatten the feet, space out the knees, sit back on the heels. Keep your hands where they are, and just think of the lower back. Think of your hands, walk yourself out with your fingers. Keep the butt down, but walk yourself out. Back to hands and knees, control toes under, knees go hip width apart, fingers as wide as you can get them. Downward dog, I'm not going to stay in the downward dog, I'm just using it as a transition, pushing into it, then drop down to the knees and the chest slide up into the upper dog, or modify it. I have to fix my shirt. Modify it, accept where you are, focus on the breathing, or just do the upward dog. Just accept where you are. That's what we're learning, acceptance. Just too much on your lower back. Make sure you're going out of it just a little bit. Modify it for your body. Listen to your body. And back to downward dog. Think the lower back, still in downward dog. You can stretch the lower back in the downward dog. You just have to be aware and really feel it. The left foot goes up between the hands into a low lunge. Flatten the foot in the back. Knees to the floor, hips are square, pushing forward diagonally, back straight, maybe arched a little bit. Make sure the front knee's not over the toe too much. If it is, lengthen yourself up a little bit. Accept where you are. Just focus on the breathing. Now with the back foot, curl the toes under, knee goes up, high lunge, so straighten the back leg, straight as you can get it. Accept where you are and focus on the breathing. So for me, I'm a little bit down than I was before, just a little bit. But I'm accepting it. Doesn't matter, I accept where I am. Where I am, that's what everyone needs to do. I'm shaking a little bit in my leg because my lower back. Again, I always say it, my lower back, I have an issue with it for now. I need to get it healed. Now for the pigeon, left foot goes over to the right side. So foot down from the right hand, square up the hips, fall on top of the leg. You're not pushing yourself down, you just accept where you go and focus on the breathing. Bring yourself up, arms straight. You put the hip bones, square them up. Pushing a little bit, you're pushing a little bit up, you're pushing the hip bones forward a little bit. The head is dropping back. So you're doing kind of a scoop with the back, with the body, the torso. Bird, I tell you, there's big birds around here like pterodactyls. Wow, ah. Okay, he didn't do that, but his wings sound like that. So now you're going to go to the standing. I'm sorry, you're going to go into the high lunge. We're not going to stay there. I can't talk because I started talking about the bird. So get there how you have to. Settle here. We're not going to stay here. We're just settling in it. Then move into the standing forward bend. Pull yourself in and down so the palms are to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. Forehead's going towards the knees. And you're just focused on the breathing. Palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale. Exhale, turn the palms out, push the air down and out. And you're going to go to mountain pose. So with the mountain pose, again, the toes go up, spread the toes as well as you can. Each toe touches one at a time. So the feet are shoulder width apart, knees are slightly bent, hips are tilted. Still no tension in the shoulders or arms. And lengthening yourself up. Then we're using the mountain pose as a stability pose, as a stance where you're focused on the breathing. You're connecting to the earth, just like a mountain. The mountain is part of the earth, and we are too. So that's the mindset you're gaining in the mountain pose. And you're just finding that spot where the skeleton is just standing. If there's nothing else, if there was no muscle, ligaments, all that stuff, you can just stand the skeleton up. That's what you're standing. You're focused on the breathing. Now here, you're going to focus on the breathing. Think of nothing else but the breathing. You're already breathing automatically. So just watch yourself breathe. And you do that by focusing on the belly. As you inhale, the belly swells with air. And you exhale, the belly goes in. You're not controlling it. You're just watching that. Or focus on the tip of the nose. Watch the breath go in and out. And just watch yourself breathe. Bring your palms together. Namaste. And that's it. So I'm going to get my glasses real quick. I usually wear contacts on. So I couldn't find a contact solution this morning. So I was like, man, I'm going to have to be blind. Anyway, so that's number 39. Is that number 39? Yeah, that's number yoga routine. YouTube live yoga routine number 39. And I will see you tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. Arizona time, Mountain Standard Time. So namaste, peace and love.